The Nissan Z series of automobile engines ranged from 1.6L to 2.4L and were produced from 1979 through August 1989. The Z series engines retained a nearly identical block to the earlier L series with the exception of the Z24, which utilized a taller deck height to accommodate an increased stroke. The Z16 and Z18 engines used a shorter block similar to the earlier L13 L16 per litre 18 variants. All Z engines were SOHC. The most notable feature of the Z series engine was the change from the L series head to a crossflow cylinder head, which reduced emissions by moving the intake ports to the right side of the engine opposite the exhaust ports. This change allows the exhaust port velocity to more effectively scavenge the cylinder and reduce reversion pulses to enhance induction. The Z series evolved into the Nissan NA and KA engines, which along with the smaller CA series replaced the Z series. Z16. The Z16 was available in the basic spec Nissan Navara in certain markets. It is an inline-4 with SOHC, 8 valves and a single downdraft carburetor. It was also seen in a few low-end model Datsun Bluebird 910s for the Japanese domestic market. Applications: D21 1987 Nissan Navara, 910 Nissan Bluebird, FB22 Nissan Atlas, 1978.10-1981.06 Nissan Valetosta Datsun 160J, E23, E24 1980-1990 Nissan Avan, Z18. The Z18 is an 1.8L straight-4 engine with SOHC and 8 valves and was essentially a cross-flow version of the older L18. Bore and stroke are 85.0 x 78.0 It produces 105 PS at 6,000 rpm with a twin-barrel carburetor as fitted in 1980. An export version was rated 77 PS at 5,600 rpm in the Datsun 180K, with power increasing to 86 PS in the Bluebird and 92 PS in twin-carb form, as fitted to the Bluebird SSS and the export market Silvia. Applications: Nissan Bluebird Datsun 180B, 1978.11-1980.11 Nissan Laurel Datsun 180L, 1980.11-1982.09 Nissan Laurel, Nissan Leopard 1800, Nissan Silvia, Nissan Skyline 1800/Datsun 180K, Nissan Skyline 1800, Nissan Violet Stanza Datsun 180J, Z18E. The Z18E is a 1.8L fuel-injected engine produced primarily for the Japanese market. Most specs were the same as for the Z18, but max power increased to 115 PS at 6,200 rpm in 1980. Applications: Nissan Bluebird 910, Nissan Skyline 1800 Ti, Nissan Skyline 1800 Ti, Z18ET. The Z18ET is a 1.8L turbocharged and fuel-injected engine first introduced in the 1979 S110 Silvia Gazelle. It was produced primarily for the Japanese market. It produces 135 HP. Applications: 1979 to 1983 Nissan Silvia S110, 1979-1986 Datsun Bluebird 910, Z20S. The Z20S is a 2.0L engine, with an 85.0 x 86.0 bore and stroke, produced from 1979 through 1984. It replaced the L20B using many of the same lower-end components. Applications: 1979 to 1981 Datsun 510, 1981, 1984 Datsun 720, Nissan Cabstar, 1980 to 1986 Nissan Datsun Caravan Nissan Homey E23, 1986-1997 Nissan Caravan Homey E24, 1980.10-1980.11 Nissan Laurel C230, 1980.11-1984.10 Nissan Laurel C31, in the US. The Z20S was only available in the 1980-81 510 per 10 and 1984 720 pickup with MPG option. The Nissan Caravan and Homey with this engine produced a maximum speed of 160 km/h. It was noted for being faster than its competitor Toyota Hiace, primarily because Z20S produced more power than the engines available in the Hiace. Z20E. The Z20E is a fuel-injected version of the Z20S engine produced from 1979 through July 1984. It also had longer connecting rods and shorter compression height pistons than the 1980-81 Z20S. It produces 100 PS. The Z20E was not available in the 720 pickup, which only used carbureted versions. The Z20 engine was not available at all on US spec 720 pickups nor California spec D21 pickups. Applications: 1979 to 1981 Datsun 200SX, 1985 to 1988 Nissan pickup D21, Z22S. The Z22S is a 2.2L four-cylinder engine produced from 1980 through early 1983. Bore and stroke are 87.0 and 92.0 It produces 86 HP SA as fitted to the U.S. market Datsun 720. Applications: 1981 to 1983 Datsun 720, Z22E. The Z22E is a fuel-injected version of the Z22 engine produced from 1981 through 1983, mainly for North America. This engine also has longer connecting rods and shorter compression height pistons than the carbureted Z22S engine. Applications: 1981 to 1983 Datsun 200SX, Z24. The Z24 is a 2.4L inline-four produced from 1983 through August 1989. A throttle body fuel-injected version was also produced, beginning in April 1985. Applications: 1983.5-1986 Nissan Datsun 720, 1985.5-1986 Nissan Datsun 720, 1986. 1990 Nissan Hardbody Truck, 1986 to 1990 Nissan Pathfinder, 1987 to 1990 Nissan Vanette Nomad, various forklift applications Z24 versions in gas and LPG. Note: all gasoline Z20, Z22 and Z24 engines were known as NAPZ, NAPZ motors had dual spark plugs except the pre-82 versions and latest versions of the Z24i is fitted to the Pathfinder. However, all NAPZ engines sold in California reportedly had dual plug heads regardless of the year. The fuel-injected version referenced above was denoted as the Z24i and was first available in the Nissan Model 720 street pickup during the 1985 model year and was replaced in 1990 by the KA24e engine. Beside the fuel injection, a significant change for the Z24i was the addition of an optical crank angle sensor in the distributor rather than a vacuum advance and ignition module. This allowed the JECS throttle body injection system to identify cylinder number 1 top dead center. Engine displacement, 2,389 cc bore x stroke, 89.0 96.0 compression ratio, 8.31, power ratings, Z24, years, 1984-1986 power, 103 HP at 4,800 rpm torque, 134 FTA pound-force at 2,800 rpm, Z24i, years, 1986-1987 power, 103 HP at 4,800 rpm torque, 134 FTA pound-force at 2,800 rpm, years, 1988-1989 power, 106 HP at 4,800 rpm torque, 137 FTA pound-force at 2,400 rpm. See also, List of Nissan engines, references. External links, New Zealand Datsun Club.